let's say hello to Joe.
Hey,
Joe, go ahead and now Joe's a repeat offender, and earlier I said that I kind of gave an overall of what you do, but go ahead and continue.
okay. Well, hello. Thanks for having me back. I think it's been a while, maybe June that I was last on the show.
June 7th, I looked
June
it up
7th. Oh, wow.
just so I
Yeah.
could pretend I knew what I was talking about. You know what I mean?
Wow, so almost over 8 months. So yeah, so actually 8 months exactly. So thanks for having me back on. Again, my
But
name's
it's
Joe.
I have
Joe.
seen you a lot less than that, though. I mean, a
Yeah,
lot
exactly.
sooner than that, not
Of course,
less.
of course. So thanks for having me back on. Again, Joe Franco. My company's called the OCI Group. We do basically all accounting for businesses, systems implementation, financial statements, tracking invoices, accounts payable, and of course corporate and LLC tax. So all business accounting, and we're industry agnostic. Retail, online retail, e-commerce, professional services, social media, manufacturing, distribution. So yeah.
So you're like a whole financial department on wheels, right?
Exactly. Everything's pretty much done remotely. We come to clients as needed, but pretty much
Half
all the work is
calculator
done
will
remotely.
travel kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell people how they can get a hold of you, and then we'll repeat that later, but I don't want to forget. So hit it.
Oh, of course. Our website is www.theocigroup.com. That's TheOCigroup.com, theocigroup.com, or you can call the office at 424-256-6458.
Now, I've got some questions, but I'd rather you talk a little too. But I just to throw in a little bit, and then I'll let you take most of it. What do you think? Well, what do you think of I yap a lot about old people because I are one. You are not one.
Hmm.
But staying busy by being healthy. And by staying busy, they can run their electric trains, they can play their music, but they can also start a business.
Absolutely.
Okay. Uh, and starting a business doesn't always take a huge amount of money. It takes some knowledge, which as many people have, most people have, if you've survived all this time. And, if you don't want to work on it day and night, you want somebody else to handle the financial part of it. So I think that would be, I think what you're offering could really help. So you're offering people to stay healthier
Yeah,
and live
just help.
longer. Thank you.
Exactly. Just help. Yeah, just keep their business healthy. Keep it up to date. It's like a fighter basically has to stay in fighting shape. They have to keep working out, keep training, or any athlete they have to stay in athletic shape. You
Yeah,
can't just
like
forget
my
about
sport is
fighting.
rolling down hills, and I keep
Yeah.
in real great shape for that.
There you go. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, basketball players, football players, baseball players, they can't sit around during the off season. They keep training. They maintain their health. Same thing with the business. You just have to stay in tip-top shape.
mm-hmm.
Maintain your financials, maintain your books. Always be ready to report for, say, a line of credit, a bank loan. You want to get investor capital. So it's the same context, just staying healthy throughout the life of the business.
Now, do you also have contacts for some of these other, for bringing, if you need capital or franchising or things like that? Can people contact you to find out about those opportunities?
Yes, so we work with a lot of bankers, a lot of investors that are always looking to invest or lend money to businesses. For franchising, we do have in our network franchise attorneys that help them with seeking out
Mm-hmm.
and writing all the negotiations and agreements with a franchise. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't want to dominate with my questions, but what I do deals with old people,
Hmm.
and I almost said that word that I was told not to that time. But anyway, old people, and I always try to find ways to keep them busy and to keep working. And a lot of them are business people from before and whatever, but staying busy, like I said, is important but you don't want to be overwhelmed sometimes with all the work that goes into it. You don't want to have to buy software for accounting or have to put all the inputs every day, so that's where you can really help out a lot. And, like I said, I don't want to just harp on old people staying busy and you making it easier to do that. But in general, you help everybody,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? Is there
Yeah.
any kind
Yeah.
of business more than the others that just from a curiosity point of view, what seems to be popular?
I'd say more popular right now is a lot of online retailers.
Uh-huh. Well,
You know,
sure.
a few years ago, more companies were doing or were doing distribution. They were buying, selling to distributors, selling to stores, but it's just become challenging. The margins are really thin. It's hard to get shelf space. It's hard to go out to like a big company like a Target or a
Yeah,
Marshalls, Home Goods, and try to get shelf space there. It's challenging. So a lot of them want to just go B2C,
correct.
business to consumer, direct. So they set up an e-commerce platform where they ship directly. They keep the whole margin, and they don't have to wait to collect their money. They get a payment and then they ship. So that seems to be a rapidly growing industry. So
Yeah, and I mean, as far as what I'm getting back to my old people, that's certainly something they can get into, and they can train themselves if they don't already know how to do that. With today's technology, it's not that difficult, is it?
not at all.
Not even I can do it, but unfortunately, I got nothing to sell. So,
Yeah.
well, I try to sell ideas. What do you think? And I do it this way. I don't need accounting, but I should. If
Yeah.
I sold something, I'd be all over calling you.
Well, we all sell ourselves. Ultimately, you sell
Oh,
yourself.
there you go.
But you sell yourself. You are your own product. Your customers are your product. But in terms of logistics, the shirts or the electronics or the toys or the gizmos or the car parts that you want to ship, those are just the tools to
Hmm.
reach your customers.
Hmm.
You're ultimately selling yourself to your customer.
Yeah.
So your experience, your knowledge.
Mm. So you're in, or you can do, I bet, I was going to say you're in just about all the geographical areas you can get into, but I bet a lot of times you don't even have to, do you?
No, more and more often,
I mean,
I
you're a
I'm
nice guy to meet face to face. I know that.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. But more and more often, people are finding us online, and people have become so much more comfortable just transmitting their information. Obviously, they do their due diligence. They look at the website. They check out our
Sure.
backgrounds, LinkedIn, whatnot. They may ask for references, which we're happy to give to clients. And ultimately, after they do their due diligence, they're completely comfortable just transmitting everything online. So even if we offer like, hey, do you want to come into the office? Do you want to meet us? Can we go get lunch? They say, yeah, sure. Maybe later, but let's just get started. Completely comfortable, giving us access to their accounting, all their tax records. So it's just easier, and particularly after an initial meeting, pretty much all the work is done remotely. So we're not in their office, we're not taking up their space. They're not, schlepping to us, bringing paperwork or files on
Yeah, but you take
USBs.
up less space. That you have a smaller footprint than I do.
Yeah, I try.
I don't know. We're not talking carbon footprints. We're
Yeah,
talking about the size of our shadow.
yeah, exactly. But
And
we don't want to come into an office, take over somebody's computer, or take over a desk. We want our clients to devote that space, to marketing, to sales, to operations.
mhm.
So
Yeah, that's of course. Now you also have, uh, let's say somebody doesn't know anything at all about the accounting and what might be involved in a certain kind of. Let's say somebody wants to get into publishing, or somebody wants to get into. Well, if you get into healthcare, it's a bigger deal, but you can handle that too. Services are usually perhaps a little more complicated than just selling goods over the internet. But both kinds of things, I think, can appeal to everyone, not just the older people. Some of those people are going to have experience in the field, but if they don't have any experience in the field or they are not familiar with types of accounting, you can help them get started with that too, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the key things to starting a business is obviously to have the drive for it, the experience, and the knowledge. All the other things, accounting, administration, the right e-commerce platform. I mean, to a business, that's all busy work. So you can always find a solution for
Yeah.
that. That's what we specialize in, helping companies set up the proper system for their size and scale.
And
So
not getting stymied by what shouldn't be their problem anyway.
yeah, they don't have to go searching around testing systems, figuring out what they need or what they don't need. Because on the one hand, they don't want a system that's too limited for them, that's not giving them the options they need. But on the other hand, they don't want to overpay for something that they don't need with too many.
So you will help them be more successful in spending their hard-earned cash or whatever little or amount it is on the best product for their immediate and their future that you can see. So you're helping them right there.
Yeah, absolutely. We can start small businesses from something as simple as a QuickBooks Online, which can start at 10, $11 a month. And if they need all the bells and whistles and inventory management and this and that,
Mhm.
go up to 70.
Now I
But
used
it
it.
really just depends on
Go ahead.
yeah, it really just depends on what they need. And we also help clients that have been in business a while graduate up to a bigger system, say a Sage or a Microsoft Dynamics.
Yeah. Now Sage, is what I used to use, the Mass 90, or now it's Mass 3000 or something?
Yeah, Mass 500 or Sage 500.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I used QuickBooks for a while until it ran out of space, but I understand that's not going to happen anymore. But the point I was trying to make was that what seems easy, because you can look on television and see Danny DeVito talk about how easy QuickBooks is. That's fine. It might be easy compared to Sage,
Hmm.
but it may not be so easy if you haven't been brought up with accounting principles. It's like when you work on anything on the computer. If you know Windows and you know how to use Word, some of the same commands will be good on a whole slew of different softwares. But if you don't know the basic language, QuickBooks can be tough
Yeah,
to learn.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in theory, anything can be easy. I mean, adding a bathroom to your house can be easy, but do you want to spend so much time and so much guesswork and have to go back and forth to the hardware store getting, one piece of plywall,
Yeah.
one counter at a time, when a professional can just come in, get it done, and you could do
Yeah.
things with your time. So yeah,
Also,
theoretically,
after, yeah.
QuickBooks is easy, but is that really where you want to spend your
Yeah,
time
well, yeah,
versus sales, marketing, business
yeah.
development?
They're good advertisements. They get you to buy it, but once you buy it, you need help.
Sure, absolutely.
And not only that, once you understand it completely, which you never will,
Mhm.
because not everybody's going to use everything in there. You don't want to spend the time. I mean, if you have to do your own payroll and this and that, whatever, it takes forever.
Absolutely.
You still have to input everything that's going to come out the other end. Things don't magically come out the other end without putting them in
Exactly.
first.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it is time, and when you're running a business, time is money.
Yeah,
So where do you want to spend your time?
right.
Do you want to spend it developing your business, developing your marketing, reaching out to your customers, improving your product or service, managing and improving your staff, or do you want to spend it punching in numbers, doing something that's not your core competency?
Yeah, that's right. Because I know it took me, sometimes I'd have to take a half a day out just to put information in. Well, I started out years and years ago doing payroll with these ledger things that were about, they were about 3 feet wide.
Oh yeah.
That was before you opened the cover and all these little layover things. But that's just memories from an old man. So, yeah, you want to do all those things. And it's probably better if you do everything in one place and have one person who's responsible, and that would be you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, that would be you. Tell us how to get a hold of you one more time, and maybe
Uh,
twice, but this is one
sure.
more time now.
Sure. Our website, www.theocigroup.com, TheOcigroup.com, or you can call us 424-256-6458. We're based in West Los Angeles, but we work with clients virtually anywhere. We have clients in Los Angeles, of course, clients in Northern California, and as far away, and we have clients that are in France.
All right. I don't have to move to France to deal with you, though, right?
Yeah.
Although it'd be,
You can
I'd
move
like to.
wherever you want, as long as you have
Really?
an internet. As long as you have an internet connection, you can move.
Okay. You think my wife will let me move wherever I want?
Oh,
I can't get out of here. I bought this house in 1988, May of 1988, thinking I'd be here 3 years max.
not how it goes.
Yeah, sometimes it does goes that way. So whatever you think, which makes you think that, okay, I don't need any help getting my financial part of my business or my work put together because things don't work out the way you always think they will. So always get somebody who's not going to, dry you, make you run out of money real quick.
Yeah.
Somebody who's reasonable, and let that person, like Joe, take care of that part of the business so you can concentrate on development of that business, on other ideas, on what it takes to keep you and your clients or customers happy.
Mhm.
And, it's just so important to be efficient that way. And you offer efficiency in that because people, it's an art or a science, whichever way you want to put it. I think the two kind of run together a lot to handle the accounting. And you've got to have the accounting right. Otherwise, you'll spend your money in the wrong place. You won't pay your taxes correctly,
Right.
and you'll end up going broke.
Yeah, and you just get bogged down in paperwork, in trying to catch up with tax returns, trying to figure out why you're getting let's
Taxes.
say late penalties,
Yeah.
interests, why you're behind on payments. So you want to have all that, but
Yeah. So you handle taxes also, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Corporate, the corporate or the business. They're not all corporations, right? Some people are just sole proprietors or partners or whatever, right?
Yeah, sole proprietor, single member LLCs, absolutely.
Yeah. So you got them across the board. And you think online marketing or online sales is really going strong for distribution and sale of items? Or, of course, there's two different levels. There's distribution, which is, well, Amazon kind of took over that, but they're not alone anymore.
Mm-mm.
And there's a lot of little ones even doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, because the distribution is just getting the product, to the customer.
Distribution could just be you working with some guy who's sitting in his diapers and, on the internet and has 10 people buying now and then, and he's still doing well as
Yeah,
long as you're there to make sure it's running.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you use a 3PL where somebody else warehouses. So if you don't want to have to inventory on site, or let's say you're in Southern California, you don't want to pay for space to inventory products. You use a 3PL. You have your products inventoried off site, and they will actually ship directly to your customer. So your job is to go out, find the customer, to reach and engage the customer. That's what.
But see, so many people don't know about that. You can help them find out and get educated about that, right?
Absolutely.
Like my wife makes this stuff, and she's mixing the salt stuff that makes things smell better than I do. That's pretty easy, right? But and she's a pop-up vendor. Okay. And I'm trying to tell her, do something just like what you said, but I have no idea how to do it. I mean, I'm in loans. I've been in loans for 478 years, and I think I'm pretty smart when it comes to that. Work hard, but I don't know nothing about that other thing.
I mean, what I would tell your wife is getting the item to the customer. That's easy. You can always pay a company, a 3PL delivery company. I mean, you can drop it in a prepaid USPS postage.
But I'm sure neither she nor I know anything about that.
But see that's the easy part. The challenge for your wife is, how do you reach the customer? How do you show them the value of the product?
Right.
So that's through YouTube videos, through Instagram feeds, use social media, use the internet. And again, her ultimate product, the item, she's making these items, but the product is the satisfied customers. Show pictures or video.
Right. Well, she's been doing this for years now, so she's got a lot of followers.
Yeah, excellent.
But how to she mixes this stuff. I see her you know, with it reminds me of like, the witches, mixing their brews of potion. So, she does that and then
Does she
carries
record
it,
herself?
loads it
She have,
all into the SUV and drives off.
does she have videos of herself doing it? Does she document that work?
No,
She should.
but I could
Yeah.
help do that. I've documented some of her artwork, and she could do that with her artwork also. I mean, she was big time at one time, with shows all over the world, and she's even in a museum and in Greece. But get the word out and get these things, and it wouldn't cost that much to get it all organized. And whether they need you to get started or not, they can still talk to you about what to do to get started. And that's where, you can solve so many problems, even if they don't end up using you, or maybe they'll use you a year from now after they get a little busier.
Absolutely. Happy to talk to anybody. Always give a free consultation. But yeah, I speak to people. I give them some ideas, and I think, well, we're not quite ready for this. Tell them, you call me when you're ready. Let me know if you have any questions. And they come a year or two later and say, hey, or months later and say, hey, we're booming. The business is growing. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to just hand it over and just focus on my logistics, my marketing, my sales, and just reaching my customers.
Right. Because that can be a full-time job. That is a full-time job.
It is, and that should be the full.
Yeah, and with something like my wife, she's spending a lot of time making the stuff, and so that's like almost a full-time job. There, that plus driving all over Southern California and pitching the tent.
Yeah.
The last thing she'd want to do is try to keep track of all of that, from a legal financial point of view. I can do a spreadsheet that'll tell her how much she's making here and there, but that's not what we were talking about here. We're talking about being able to keep good records, real records, provable records that will not only work for taxes, but will work for you making that's the most important thing, is you need to have the right information to make you, meaning the owner of any company, or when I say company, the endeavor, you need to be able to make the right decision to keep going. You can't keep making, my wife can't keep making one flavor that nobody buys, and it might take her a few months to see she still has too much of it. You have to keep track of those things as you go. Your inventory,
Absolutely.
what's moving, what's not moving.
Absolutely. Data is so valuable. So you want to keep track. You want to keep track of all your expenses. You want to track your customers, what they're buying, what products are giving you the best return, or what services are giving you the best return, and decide where do you want to put your resources and your focus in the stuff that sells best or the stuff.
Yeah. Now she's got a great accounting system right now. Let me just use some round numbers, okay? So if she just paid, let's say she paid $200 for the space, the electricity, and all the raw materials, all right? And let's say she receives $500 for selling everything that day, all right? I asked her how much she made. She said 500. I say, no, you didn't. You spent 200 getting it there. And of course she says, well, when I went there this morning, I didn't have the 500. Now I do. Therefore, I made 500. I don't think that's going to work too well.
Well, the revenues were 500. That's what the
I know.
were. There's also cost of goods sold and overhead expense. So,
I know, that's crazy. Makes her feel good,
yeah.
but that not necessarily going to tell her what her next best step is.
Right. So the next question I would ask is which products, because obviously the expenses are the expenses. You got your rent, you got your space, you got your utilities, but which products generated that $500, and which of that $500, which products generated that money the fastest? That's what you should focus on. And you don't need to have a million SKUs, a million
No, and you could sell 100 of one things and only make 50 cents a piece, and you could sell only 20 of another and make $6 a piece, and there's a difference. You get excited over sales, but every sale doesn't equal every other sale.
Absolutely.
But what you do, I think, is amazing. I don't know, maybe other people do it. I just haven't heard of it before until you started doing it. And it's just like having a whole financial department in a suitcase
So yeah, I mean, we're
from
we're an account we're
one
an
company
accounting
to another.
department. Yeah, we're an accounting department for companies that don't need a 5, 6, 7 person accounting department there full time. They don't need
Right.
5, 6 people at their office, taking up offices, taking up space 40 hours a week. They need, a couple people, maybe 10 hours a week, even 5 hours a week, 10 hours a month,
Right.
whatever number. If a client says I need 20 to 30 hours a week, that's already too much for us. At that point, they can start bringing on full.
Yeah, because now they can afford their own. And, when they want to spend that much, it's good to have someone in the office all the time. But you got to be doing very well.
Exactly.
Very,
And
very
that-
well.
Yeah, and a lot of our clients, we help them graduate up
Yeah,
to that
you
point. But
you get them there.
the brand new client that says, hey, we need maybe 5, 10 hours a month. We just need somebody to reconcile at the end of the year, make sure our AR inventory, our books make sense.
Any job too small for you?
No, I mean, we work with pre-revenue companies too, just getting them set up.
Right.
So revenues come in,
Or anybody listening to the show or whatever for free advice, or hopefully the free advice will turn into a real live paying account. But people can call you about ideas.
Absolutely.
This is a good thing. Oh, we're told we have 1 minute.
Okay.
So, you know what? Real quick, and then we'll say goodbye to you. But your contact information?
The OCIgroup.com, TheOCIgroup.com, or call us at 424-256-6458. And again, my name is Joe Franco. And I'm a CEO.
And Joe, it's been really good having you on again. We got to do it more often.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And thank you, Sean, for putting up with me one more time. And thanks most of all to the audience, both of you, no, all of you that are out there. And I really, really appreciate all of you. And Kaplan will be here on the same corner in front of the cigar store next week. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.